What's up, y'all? It's your girl, and I'm back for another video.
They don't know about us, babe. They don't know about us. They can think what they want, baby, but they don't know one thing. Even if they did have a glimpse of our truth, they wouldn't know about us, no. They wouldn't know about us. They don't get it, babe, living in a cruel world. It's a rare thing to do just what we do, love. Hold your head high and do it by your own terms. They don't get it, babe, no, they don't get it, babe. They don't know about us, babe. They don't know about us. They can think what they want, babe.
I'm in a rental car right now, so I'm just running some errands. No kids, of course, and I'm sitting outside my doctor's office, so I figure I might as well talk to you guys while I have a few minutes because I'm a little early. So basically I want to update you guys on what ended up happening with my husband in that whole situation. And I don't know if this is going to be the final update, but this is going to be the only update I have for you guys for now. We'll see where things go. So I know you guys, a lot of you guys saw the live stream from a few days ago where I basically found out that my husband left me and ended up back at his baby's mom's house. This situation makes me very emotional, so I'm trying to, even though I told myself I'm going to get it together and try not to cry about it anymore, it's still hard. But anyway, so basically what I did was, I'm not going to go into how. I'm just going to say, long story short, I found out that he's been with his baby's mother. Now, I don't know how long this has been going on. I don't know if they've been talking since before he left here with me. I don't know if they just started talking right after he went, but I feel like it was a plan for him to go back to her. I feel like he was talking to her behind my back, and that kind of makes me feel like they were talking before he left, before he came back the first time. So let me back up a little bit. So when he left my house, he told me that for some reason or another, he wasn't going to be able to go to his mom's house, which I had a hard time believing because he always goes to his mom's house. The entire time I've known him, he's always gone there. He's never went anywhere else. And this time he's like, I'm going to stay with one of my friends because I can't go to my mom's house for one reason or another. So I didn't think much of it because at the time, that wasn't the biggest issue. The biggest issue was, why are you leaving in the first place? Are you still really going to leave? That type of conversation. So when he mentioned that, I didn't think much of it. Now, looking back, the fact that he said that leads me to believe that they had been plotting this behind my back for a long time, or for some amount of time, which is hurtful. But it is what it is. But after that live stream, I contacted him and I told him, I know exactly what's going on. I know exactly where you've been, and I need you to call me right now. So after a few, text messages, we get on the phone, and I am an emotional wreck because I'm pregnant. I'm still married. We haven't had a conversation saying, okay, we're definitely going to get a divorce. We're definitely not going to work it out. We're going to start seeing other people. We didn't have that conversation. It was just, he left. He left straight for me and went there. And he didn't think he didn't think. And at first he wouldn't admit to having sex with her, but we're adults. We know that they're having sex. I saw text messages text messages between them two that leads me to believe that they're in a relationship. And she knows about me. She knows exactly who I am. Me and her have run into each other many times over the last 4 years, as far as like via phone calls, text messages. She knows exactly who I am. And she doesn't care. She's very aware that we're still married and she's having sex with my husband. And I don't get it. I wouldn't want somebody else's husband. I don't care if that was my child's father. I don't know what's going on. It's weird. At first, he tried to say that he couldn't stay at his mom's house, which I find to be a lie. It's a lie. He couldn't stay at his mom's house, and so that's why he had to stay there. So basically, he tried to make it seem like he's staying there out of necessity. And we all know that's not the truth. So I asked him, I just want you to tell me up front, are you with this girl? Are you in a relationship with her? Are you planning on staying with her? Are you, having sex with her? Like, what is going on? Of course, knowing that he's living there and reading the text messages, I already knew that they were having sex, but I wanted to hear it from him. I don't know why, just for closure, I guess. So he admitted to having sex with her. He said he felt forced, which I don't know what that's supposed to mean. That doesn't really mean anything. It defeats the purpose that he would even think to do that. To me. Anyway, so he said, basically, long story short, he's living with his daughter's mom, and they're in a relationship. They're back together. Even though he says, we've had conversations. She knows I'm not trying to be in a relationship after this. I don't want to be with anybody else. The same old shit that every same old song that every man who F's up says, after you, there is nobody else. Okay, whatever. That's unrealistic. You're too young. There's going to be somebody else. There's somebody right now. So I don't want to hear there's not going to be anybody else. You're with somebody. You're sleeping in her bed. So then I said, damn it. I can't talk about this again. So then I asked him, I said, okay, so we know that you've cheated on me. We know that you're moved in with your daughter's mom. We know what's going on. We now I'm in the loop. I'm in the loop with you and your mom. Which, by the way, the mom, she knew this entire time, which I knew that she knew. But again, it hurts more when you find out exactly what's been going on. And I have text messages in my phone that me and her have just recently, like 2 months ago, talked about how crazy this girl is and how she had to get a restraining order and how she popped up at her job and how she used to sit out in front of their house and, all these crazy things about this girl. And now all of a sudden she's supporting them hiding from me. And the fakery, foolery, and fuckery of it all is just absolutely crazy to me. So I was really sad. I was devastated when I found out who he was with, because I didn't know who he was with. I just thought he was messing around with somebody. I would honestly almost prefer him to be just cheating with random women. Not like I would prefer any of this, but if I had to choose for him to go back to somebody who he has history with and a child with, or to go back or to go mess with somebody and get up and leave, I would choose the second, the latter. But anyway, I guess it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter now. But so I was devastated. I was like in a state of like depression, I feel like, for a couple of days, just trying to wrap my head around what the hell I just found out. And then I talked to him again, and he admitted that he was wrong, and then he knew he was wrong and things like that. I still haven't gotten an apology, but I don't know what I'm sorry is going to do or fix at this point. Absolutely nothing. And you know, we talked a lot, and through our conversations, I realized we are not compatible. He still does a lot of blaming, and he doesn't own up to much, just a little bit. And I think that he blames the breakup, the reason why we're not together, he blames it on me. He really truly thinks it's my fault because I pushed him away, and things like that, when really he had a big role in why we're not together. But you know, it is what it is. Why we broke up really doesn't matter at this point because it's so far gone. There's no coming back. I told him, you know, you guys, I was very honest with you guys and told you that he's cheated on me in the past. And his daughter's mom was one of those people that he cheated on me with. And that was hard. That was the hardest year. That was the hardest year of my life. And I don't know why I decided to stay after that. But I was pregnant with Junebug, and I just, you know, I wanted to give him a second chance because I loved him, you know. And so I did. I gave him a second chance, and I said, this will never happen again because, you know, I don't deserve this. And he promised me it would never happen again. And honestly, there's been some times since then where I'm like, I thought you said this was, you know, it was really hard. We almost didn't make it because it was just the hardest thing. And the trust was like basically gone after the first time. And I tried. I really did. And I feel like, honestly, since the first time he cheated on me, it's never been exactly the same. I think we've been spending a lot of time trying to get back to where we were before he fucked up. And it just never was the same after that. And I honestly knew it. I told him it was never going to be the same again. And he didn't want to hear it. He didn't want to believe it. He just wanted to continue to try. And so I agreed. And here we are, back at square one. Anyway, after finding out, you know, everything, like I said, I was devastated for a few days. I said, you know, maybe I should be the bigger person, because he still was like, I told him, if you had to choose right now between me or her, who are you choosing? And he was like, you. And I'm just like, but see, how does that make sense when you're there? When you haven't called to check on your boys, you haven't called to check on me, you haven't expressed any type of want to even get back right or to even try to work it out. A large reason for that is him just not giving a shit, not calling, not checking, not anything. Then I said, you know what, let me be the bigger person and see if he at least will come down for the birth of the baby. I asked him to come, even though I said, you know, I didn't want him to be there. I started thinking about it, and I was thinking, like, you know what, why should I let him lay up with a female? I don't care who it is. Meanwhile, I go show up at the hospital, and I gotta go be by myself. You're just laid up with her while I'm over here in labor. It just doesn't seem right, you know? So I explained to him my vision, and I said, look, I don't want to be with you anymore. Even though it kills me to say that, because I love you. You're my husband. You know, we've built a family. We've got 3 children together, you know, plus my kids. You know, we've built a lot. It's hard to let that go when you put that much energy into somebody. But I can't share you. I don't do community dick. I'm not going to. And she's okay with this, you know, she's okay with it. Because when I texted her, she's like, I'm not going to discuss my household with you. And I don't, you know, what we got going on is none of your business. What y'all got going on is none of my business. To me, that sounds like, well, when he's here with me, we do what we do. When he's there with you, y'all do what y'all do. That's what it sounds like. That's trifling. I'm sorry, boo. I hope she sees this one day. You're trifling. I don't care if we both have kids by him. That's trifling. You can have them. Anyway, because they're going to end up catching something with that mentality. I don't have time for that. So anyway, I told him, I said, you know what? There's no way that I'm going to be able to work it out with you. It was a really shallow chance before finding all this out, and now knowing that you're living with her and that you're having sex with her and that you're building a relationship with her all over again, and we're not even, the ink hasn't even dried on the papers. Hell, the papers haven't even been filed yet. It hasn't even been 30 days, barely been even 30 days since we've split, and you're already jumped into the next thing. There's no way I can work it out. As much as I wish things were different and I could, there's no way I can do it, because you're going to have to see your daughter. You're going to have to always be in contact with her because you have a child together. I would never be comfortable with you going to Texas by yourself. I would never be comfortable with you being around her. I would never be comfortable with you talking to her because of me knowing that she doesn't care. She doesn't care if you're in a relationship. She'll still fuck you, you know? And because it seems like you don't care either. And I'm the only one who cares. I can't. There's no morals here. Amongst other things. That's one major thing. Like, I can't share my man. I'm sorry. What I'm saying is, basically, I told him, no, we can't be together. But I will offer you to come out here for Onyx's birth. So you can be here. You can cut the cord. You can love on him. You can see him and, you know, sign his birth certificate and have that bond with him and not miss that special moment. You know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, he is my son's father. He's my kid's father, you know? So as much as it would hurt me to go through that, even though knowing we're not going to be together and knowing, you know, it would be emotional, I'm sure, but I would feel better in the end because he's there to support me like he's supposed to. And then, you know, be there for his son like a father is supposed to. If it's within his power, I don't see why he wouldn't do that. You see what I'm saying? So I said, let me just offer. And he just threw me a whole bunch of bull, basically about I can't go and see my family and get teased with the idea of being a family again and then having to leave. And, you know, I just can't do that again. And I just, or not again, he's like, I just can't come and, you know, see my kids and then, you know, see everybody, see all the kids and then be there for a couple of days and then just leave. And I'm just like, what? You know, and his excuse just kept changing. And I just was like, you know what? Now I feel like you don't want to leave because she thinks that you're going to leave me for her. And that if you leave to come out here for the birth of our son, she probably won't accept you back. And you don't want to lose that because I told you I'm not going to be with you. So you're trying to keep the only good thing going that you have going. And in order to do that, you have to sacrifice. You have to sacrifice your son's birth. It hurts. Because if I was in his position, there would be no woman, no power, nothing on this planet that would stop me from being there. Unless I said, you know, no, don't show up. But if I'm offering you to come and be here for that moment, there's nothing on this planet that would stop me from doing that. Anyway, I gotta go. He doesn't even want to see his own son be born. That's how far up her ass he is. So at this point, I have to just let it go. You know, I'm going to change my number again. And I have to move on. You know, he doesn't want to be a part of his kid's life. He chose up. And he's got to live with his decisions in the long run. Decisions will have repercussions. And so he's going to have to live with that. And I can't do anything about it. He's going to have regrets. But I can't beg a man to do what a man's supposed to do. I think it's cold-blooded for him to do that. But if he wants to do that, then I can't stop him. So that's that.